This video is a public service announcement. Okay. This video is a public service announcement to all my fellow good girls. All the good girls. All of you all who identify as good girls, or if you identify as becoming, always on your way to becoming a good girl, you are in major trouble, girl. This good girl persona is literally effing you up. It is effing you up so royally you have no idea, and you need to snap out of it right away. So let this video be a wake-up call. So I have two more videos. One is about guilt and one is about being a good girl, and I will link them in this video. You must watch both these videos, and this video, today's video, is just marrying those two together. So let's talk about the GGG, the good girl guilt. Your good girl guilt is literally killing you. It's effing you so badly you have no idea, and you need to snap out of it right now. Trust me when I say this, being a good girl is keeping you away from success, money, love, and all things amazing. Yeah? So let's dive deep today into how you have become this good girl, or why you want to be this good girl. Let's dive into it. So I don't know if this is an Indian thing or if this happens across the globe, but our parents and their parents have put so much weightage on being the good child, the good girl, or the good boy. Every day, children are told, you're not being a good child, you're not being a good girl, you're not being a good boy, you're being a bad girl, you're being a bad boy. Good girls don't do this, good girls do that. When will you be a good girl? Good girl, good girl, good girl. So the message you got as a child every single day, the message that was absorbed by your subconscious loud and clear was that you need to be doing something in order to become a good girl. It's a forever process. I'm forever becoming a good girl. I'm on my way to becoming a good girl by doing X, Y, and Z. So this means that I am not a good girl already just because. This means I'm not good enough the way I am. This means I must be a bad girl, inherently bad, on my way to becoming a good girl. This is so. So parents need to stop this first and foremost. Yeah, we are human beings. We are not good, we are not bad. The human experience is an imperfect, flawed experience, and it is not black or white. It is not good or bad. It is black, white, grey, and the entire spectrum of colors in between. And being good, and being good or being bad, in most cases, is subjective. Most good girls, 99.999% of the good girls, cannot say no even when they want to say no. So they always say yes. Yeah? And what happens as you grow up is you say yes very excitedly. You know, somebody comes up to you and says, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this. And you're like, yes, but you want to say no. You say yes, and then you don't show up. Yeah? So in you trying to be the good girl, you're actually being a bad person. The decent thing to do here is say no, because you know you don't want to do it. And you're not going to do it, you're not going to show up for it. So say no. It may sound harsh, but it is the right thing to do. So that actually makes you a good girl. That actually makes you a decent person. Right? The second situation here would be you say yes and then you do it anyway, but you don't want to do it. So you hold a lot of resentment. And then you go out and you bitch about this person to everybody else. That actually makes you a bad person. Saying no the first time actually makes you a good person. So it's very subjective. Right? So you need to examine the definition of being a good girl, and most likely this definition is up. So you need to write down what makes me a good girl, and trust me, a lot of garbage is going to come out. Good girls are people pleasers. They don't know the concept of boundaries. They don't have boundaries. They cannot communicate their boundaries. They are overgivers. They bend backwards to accommodate others. They fold themselves into pretzels. They put themselves last. They put everybody else before them. They stay in toxic relationships and situationships and friendships and jobs for a lot longer because they don't value themselves. Because they are always thinking that they are going to become better or good by overcompensating, overdoing. They are guilty. They feel a lot of guilt. And guess what happens when you feel guilty? People persecute you. People punish you. Because when you are guilty, when I say I'm guilty, I'm ready for punishment. Even in the court of law, you are innocent until you're proven guilty. And once you're proven guilty, you are punished. When you are forever trying to be the good girl, or you place a lot of importance, a lot of value on becoming the good girl, like it's the most important, single most important thing in your life is to become a good girl, then the underlying belief, and it's very sneaky, is that I'm not already good. I'm a bad person. So therefore I need to do extra to be good, So this is a very dangerous situation to be in. You will self-sabotage, do shady, engage in shady things, and then you will feel guilty. And as you feel that guilt, you will overcompensate even more to become a good girl. You're forever becoming the good girl. So I'll give you an example. Women do this all the time. They are finally with a good guy, and they get bored. And beneath that boredom is also a sinister belief that I'm not good, I'm inherently bad. So I'm always trying to be good by overcompensating, by feeling guilty. So they will cheat, They will find an unavailable douchebag and they will cheat. Or they will start flirting with that unavailable man on the side. And then they will feel guilty. Oh my God, what have I done? And then they will start overcompensating and overgiving in their existing relationship. All negative emotions are highly addictive. So is guilt. And as any addiction, you need these emotions. You need to feel these emotions in higher and higher quantities. Otherwise, you will not get that hit. You will not get that high. You will not get that crazy, sinister satisfaction that you get out of being guilty. This is why you will self-sabotage, do shady so you can feel more guilty and overcompensate for that guilt. You are addicted to this cycle of guilt. And the crazy part is that if guilt has become your identity, if you have been trying to become a good girl your entire life, you have lived with guilt your entire life. Guilt has become your identity. So not feeling guilt is foreign to you. So you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about unless you start doing some inner work, unless you start getting self-aware and then question yourself. Am I a good girl? Why am I being this good girl? What am I gaining out of it? And I have mentioned this in my previous video. Please watch it on guilt. Check your guilt. Question your guilt. Is my guilt even valid? If it is not valid, ditch it. If it is valid, resolve it. Make amends, ask for forgiveness, but get rid of this guilt. Because as long as you're guilty, others will punish you and you will punish yourself. Good girls finish last. Guilty good girls finish last. Remember my words. This good girl persona and this good girl guilt, together they are killing you. They are absolutely destroying you. Please destroy this guilt and get rid of this persona. before it destroys you, before it gets rid of you. Still not sure if you are a good girl? How do you feel when you say no, when you want to say no? How do you feel when you're establishing boundaries? Is it difficult for you? Is it foreign to you? One day when you finally say no, you feel so bad, you feel so guilty. And because of that, you start overcompensating afterwards. This is a telltale sign that you are a good girl who cannot say no. What you need to do as a recovering good girl is practice saying no. Say no when you want to say no. Don't say yes because you're a good girl. Question that. Question that. Question being the good girl. Question it. Why am I saying yes when I want to say no? And remember, like I said before, saying no is actually the right thing to do. Yeah, because you may ghost them later because you don't want to do it, or you may do it but with a lot of resentment. Either way, it's not a good idea to say yes when you don't want to do it, when you actually mean no. So honor that. Good girls are easy targets for abusive men, toxic men, narcissistic men. And I don't think I need to even explain to you why. Because you're such a good girl, because you'll do anything, because you never say no, because you don't have boundaries. Because your parents probably never told you that you are a good child and they love you no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you're a good child or not, they love you anyway. You never heard that. So these toxic men may say that to you and then get you to do everything. You are easy targets for toxic men, toxic jobs, toxic friendships. Yeah? Because you're guilty. You have the good girl guilt. Other people can smell this on you. Subconsciously, unconsciously, they can smell this on you. It is in your energy field. So, even people who are decent people, even they end up taking advantage. Even they end up taking you for a ride. Because you're such a good girl, eager to please everyone. You overdo things, you overcompensate. And then when you don't get anything in return, you become resentful and you start bitching and gossiping. Yeah? And you're like, oh my God, this only happens to me. I'm such a victim. La 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 la. I'm such a good girl. But people are so bad. People are out there to get me. It's a never-ending cycle. Break the cycle today by saying no. No when you mean no. No when you don't want to say yes. No to being a good girl. And why should you define yourself like that? You're neither good nor bad. You're a human being. You're a woman. You're just having a human experience. And sometimes you have to let the other person believe that you are the villain of their lives. That might be the right thing to do. Alright, with that said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I hope this was useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!